In this video, I'll be taking a look at the Figma Kazuma Sato from KonoSuba. Here are all the accessories along with the figure laid out in front of you. It comes with a pretty good amount of stuff. First, let's take a look at the flight stand. You get three pieces. You have the stick, the base, and this smaller piece. The base has this frosty texture on it. The Figma logo is raised. You also have this, legal stuff right there. There is a peg hole, which obviously you put the arm into, which can rotate on that peg, and obviously have three hinges. The one in the middle going one way goes just a little bit, and the other way goes all the way. And then obviously you have the peg, which can go in the back of the figure, or you can put this angle piece right there, and that also goes in the back of the figure. When porting the flight stand in the figure, you want to make sure the rubber overlay is in the way. It sometimes does, so you just gotta finagle it. It is a nice flight stand. You also have some extra stuff. You have a wrist peg, an extra one in this little baggie. You also have the Figma bag, which you can put all the accessories into, and you have these instructions which just tell you, all the accessories and how to use them. It is in Japanese, which I don't read, so you know, don't know exactly what it's saying, but you can look at the pictures themselves. The first accessory are these panties, which, nice detail overall, triangle shaped. You have sculpt at the end and at the thigh area. It's a nice little kind of set. I do kind of wish that it came with another one that was more like crumpled up, because that's usually how he has it, in his hand. But these are, really good for what it is. Here are the panties on the figure, obviously using the grip hand that is included. It does hold them pretty nice, and firm. It isn't going anywhere. You can also use both hands like this. It is a little hard to put them on, but once you do, move it any which way, and I think this is a really good accessory for him to come with. The figure also has this kind of water effect. I forget the name. Splooge. That's what it looks like. It looks like splooge right here, but it is water. Translucent blue plastic with a frosty kind of white at the end of it. It is kind of brittle, so I would be careful with it. You do want to put it at that angle with the hand that is included for it. And once you plug it in, it looks pretty good on the figure. Obviously, it is going to hold it. It's not that heavy. It's at an angle, and then the hand's at an angle, so it does work perfectly overall. Next is his katana, which again looking good. I forget what is it called, the Chinchumaru blade or something like that. Looking good, nice gold paint, deep brown at the ends of it, and silver. It's a nice silver. I really like the silver metallic look. To put the sword in the hand, it's actually simple. You obviously use the gripping hand, and you just slide it in like so, and it holds it really good. Any pose you put him in looks fantastic in my opinion. You do also have the sheath, which is on it in the package, and I guess you could take it off, but I would be careful. It does rotate on it. I would be careful with the end because it is kind of just glued on, so hopefully it doesn't come off. To put the blade in, you do want to follow the edge of it and the edge of the sword and just push it in. It goes all the way up until there where it kind of gets stuck, and when pulling it, you do want to hold the sheath because it does kind of get stuck. Sometimes it goes in really nice, but once you put it on, and obviously as you can see, it just works. The next accessory is his cape, which again looking good. You get nice gold paint at the edges, and it is articulated. The collar piece is this rubbery material. Kind of wish the rest was. As you can see, it's kind of a harder plastic, but you do get articulation. It is hinged at this back centerpiece and can obviously rotate on it as well. Both of the sides can also rotate and hinge. It hinges more kind of inward like this, and both sides have it. To put it on the figure itself, you do want to just take the whole head off like that. And there is a peg right there which goes on the back of the figure. Plug it in and then put the head back on. Overall, it does look good once you have him. It is in this, flowy back state. You can't really put it down. You could, but it looks all weird and wonky. Do wish this was cloth, but that's just me. As for the hands, you do have a set of gripping hands, a set of clenched hands, a set of relaxed hands, a set of style pose hands, and one hand to hold the effect part. Interchanging the hands sometimes is difficult because the peg itself stays on the figure. What you want to do is just plug it back in and hinge it at an angle and push, downwards. Like that, the hand comes off and the peg stays in the figure. It is just a friction fit, and you just plug in the new one, follow the hole. Next are the face plates. This is the face plate that is on them in the package. Looking good, kind of stern smile on them. The hair itself, just brown. I don't really see a wash in it, but this faceplate does look good. To interchange the faceplate, you want to pull the hair and then the faceplate, and then put the new one on, and then put the hair back on. The first extra faceplate is this kind of yelling, screaming one. This can be used for so many different ways. Him being mad, him, crying, him, whatever. It is Kazuma, and I love this faceplate. The next faceplate is this kind of grinning teeth one. The eyes do, I don't know if it's just me, kind of look like they follow you. I don't know if that's just the hair or something, but this face looks devious, especially if you put these with the panties. Yeah, that's probably how it's going to be on my shelf. Next, let's take a look at the figure itself. It looks pretty good. You do have this kind of sculpt and paint at the torso. You do have these cuts throughout, which I hate. I don't understand it. It doesn't really help with articulation. The arms do have this nice sculpt on them. It looks really good, really baggy how it does in the anime. Obviously, the gray paint right there looks good. As for the rest of the torso, it is simple up until you get to the belt, which has a nice, brown paint and gold paint at the buckle. The lower torso is a soft rubber material along with the crotch, which again, it's worse than McFarlane because the legs do go over, but then they cut it. I don't get it. You do get a nice scope for the pants, all the way to the boots. You get a nice paint at the boots, and the boots do look really good. The back of the boots also look good. Again, not much more to say. You do get these weird joints in terms of the color. They're just very off. The katana itself, again, looking good with that nice, gold paint on there. Here, again, you get these weird cuts, which I just don't get. It doesn't even help with articulation that much. You get most of the articulation at the ab crunch up top, so I just don't get it. It makes the figure look ugly. This is supposed to be a premium product, and this looks worse than McFarlane, which is saying something to me. But I still bought them because I do love the anime. As for the articulation, you do have a joint at the head and neck. You can obviously rotate, get beautiful pivot, which, oh my god, you do have up movement, not that much, and down movement, mainly from the neck. The shoulders do move up all the way. Again, this weird cut doesn't really help. It's like you still get the same amount of movement. It is a butterfly joint in there and a bicep swivel. You do have a single joint which moves in all the way, which looks really good and doesn't look that bad when fully extended. You do also have ball hinge wrists here, so you can configure them any which way you like. As for the torso, you do have a joint up top and at the waist, with the one up top can rotate and pivot, and you do get a nice crunch back, which all the way, again, you get most of the articulation up top. Moving forward, the same thing. You can actually half ease it, but you do have a big gap on there. You do have waist swivel right there, pivot, and crunch forward and back, but again, not that much altogether. Alright forward and a decent back amount. You do have hips which move all the way, which I guess that's the reason they cut it. The leg can move back, again, a good amount, but you are stressing the plastic, which I just don't like. Just cut it like a normal crotch piece. You do kind of want to be careful because it gets stuck in there because of the way it's cut. Moving forward, you only get that much, but if you do push it, you get all the way. But again, you're just stressing that plastic, which I just don't like. As for the knee joint, they move in a really good amount. Again, the color there is weird. It's a weird kind of blue, while the rest is more of a navy. You do have a nice boot swivel there. It's a little stiff, so you have to, crank it, but at least it's there. You do have waist swivel. The ankles can move down and up a really good amount with the toe joint, and you do get a beautiful ankle pivot. As for the size comparisons, here is compared to your average body molds from Hasbro, NECA, McFarlane, and Figuarts. Here he is compared to the SHF Deadpool, which I would love to see Deadpool in an anime like KonoSuba, or like a reincarnated anime. I think Deadpool will do some fun stuff in there. Here he is compared to the SHF Jiraiya. These two perverts would do damage in any world they were in. It would be cool to see something like that. Here he is compared to the Buzzmod Zenitsu. These two lovebirds, overly affectionate individuals, would do damage in any world they were in. Love these two figures. And here he is compared to the Figma Aqua figure. These two look good, scale well together. Cannot wait to get the rest of the group. I do have Darkness pre-ordered through BBTS. I do need to get Megami and maybe Union. Hopefully they do more, but I doubt it. This is like the fourth reissue of these guys. These guys are pretty old. But overall, I do enjoy them. So what are my thoughts on this figure? It is a really nice piece in my opinion. Again, I got this for around 70 bucks through BBTS. For that price, I do recommend it. Again, this is anime specific. I really enjoy it. The accessories he comes with are good. The extra faceplates. I do wish he came with more faceplates. That's just me. The crumpled up panties, other cool things. But what you get for that price of $70, I do recommend it if you are a KonoSuba fan like me. I had to get this. Cannot wait for the rest of the party. And hopefully they do more, but I doubt it because this is again the third or fourth reissue they reissue them every time the anime's out. Now fuck off.